Hello, Chandler Unified. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to talk about printing test booklets, where you create a class set of booklets for your students, and then also printing answer sheets. So let's dig right in. First thing I'm going to do is find my assessment. So there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can go to your launch pad up here, where you can just pick from assessments. Once you do that, you can pick from a collection, or you can just pick by subject. So for our sake today, we're going to pick math, and we're going to refresh. Now I want to point out that this is a sandbox account, so none of this is actual student data. The one I'm going to use is Honors Algebra 2. It's a mock, like I told you, a mock test. So what we're going to do is look at how to print. So we're going to come all the way over here to the icons. That's for your online administration. This is for printing your answer docs, and this is actually for printing your test. So let's go into the document folder. You're going to see two documents. One's an answer key, one is your actual test booklet. So you want to pick and look and see which one is your actual test booklet, because when we open this up, we're going to scroll down and we're going to see that this is our answer key. So we don't want to print that for the students. That wouldn't be a good one to print. So we're going to get out of that one, and we're going to go to the actual test document itself. Once this pulls up, it's as simple as printing the number of copies that you need. So here's the actual test itself. And what you do is you just hit the printer icon and you pick the printer that is yours. And you want to create a class set where they're not going to write on the actual test, because that way you're saving some paper there. So that's how you print. Once again, the click path's pretty simple. Let me show it to you one more time. Once you find your assessment, you move over to the document folder, and boom, you press that and you pick the correct one, which would be the test booklet, and then you print it. For your answer documents, your printed documents where the students are going to bubble in their answers, you hit the printer icon. And you don't want to use print generic answer sheets. Those are going to print blank answer sheets, which means that you'll have to have the students put in their student ID and all that business. You don't want to do that. So what do I want to do is I want to pick my classes that I have and the subject area that I have. Now, I am in the Algebra 2 Honors Final, so let's say you teach more than one subject. You teach Algebra 1, or you teach another math subject. You don't want to be in this final to print a document or an answer sheet for a geometry class, because it's going to be the wrong test. So we don't want to do that. So if you teach more than one subject, you have to go into each final or each subject that you teach and print the answer documents. So in this particular case, let's take a look. Let's just pick a high school here. And let's pick, well, this is earth science. We don't want that. So let's pick the actual course itself. We'll type in Algebra 2 Honors, refresh our page, and then we'll just get those teachers that teach that. So in this particular case, you get Laura Lee that teaches it, but we can also select Algebra 1 too. So what I wouldn't want to do for Laura Lee is pick Algebra 1 as the answer sheets I'm printing, because you're in the Algebra 2 final. Just be mindful of that if you teach more than one subject. But for our purposes today, let's just select Laura Lee, and we'll select her class. She only teaches one period of Algebra 2, so that's what we'll print. So once I've checked my box next to the period number that I have, or the period that I am, in this Jeanette McKernan teaches two periods of Algebra 2. So I'm going to select hers, and I'll hit print answer sheets. And what it'll do is it'll generate a PDF of your answer sheets, and there's some key little points here to kind of take a look at when you're printing it. The answer document might look a little bit different on your end than it looks on this Sandbox account, but some of the key elements are important. Actually, this looks perfect. So if you look at the student, it'll have the student name up top with their dedicated ID number. And then you will also have the number of questions there are. And I would always go down here and look. It's got the test name, it's got the subject, it's got the teacher, and it's got their period. That is important, especially if you teach more than one subject. So just keep that in mind. Be in the final that you are trying to print, which means simply make sure you've got the right answer document. Otherwise, when you actually grade this, it'll all be wrong. So once again, the click path for that is very simple. You go to your assessments, you find your assessments. Once you find the assessment, you go to the actual printer icon, you click the printer icon, you find your name, whatever name that might be. I always like to filter the course to make sure that I'm printing the correct one. Now, because it's under your name, you're going to have just your stuff on there, so it should be fine for you. So I'm going to pick actually Algebra 2. Well, I kind of messed that up a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's go back to this and click off that. And let's do that one more time. Refresh. Click the title of the person or the class that you want. Print your answer sheets. And the PDF will come up, and then you just hit the printer icon. Once you open the PDF and you print what you need. Now keep in mind that mine looks a little bit different only because I have all the schools there, but it'll just be your school and your class periods. I hope this was helpful.